drained all of the coolant from there. And after that was mostly done draining into this big old container. Minimize the splashing, it's just drip now. See what I'm seeing here. I don't know if you can. Idea is just to get it like that. When that way you don't have to use much tension. You can slide it back a bit. I know there's a spring on here because I saw the spring snap right back up. So it's just a safety thing here. There you go, huh? That's what you need to do. Just gotta get some more. Oh man, this is more here trapped. I don't know. Gravity suggests there won't be, but you never know. Okay, so next to remove this shroud, as the book said, there's two parts to it, but we go for the bottom ones first, and I believe they're all 10 mil. Much easier doing it without trying to hold the camera on the other hand, but get a tripod or something if I'm going to start making these kind of videos. This turns out to be the best way. 7/16, oh no, 3/8 actually. 3/8 size. Here's the idea of the minimal clearance we got. They did suggest we remove the PCM in the book, but just try to be careful for now. It's just a 10 mil 3/8 bolt. I'm going to struggle getting this shroud out of the way. I've got to remove this oil fill tube anyway for the valve covers and the wheels, so I'll just start with taking this off 7/16. Those two 5/16 were for the reserve tank, coolant overflow tank that came out of two bolts here, popped right out, and so I got a little bit more clearance on this side, sitting the AC lines over there. So it does look like my next option is to remove this bolt here, and a lot of things on this vehicle are 7/16s. So it's just a bolt that goes into a clip there. There's a washer on it. There's something else on here. There's a clip, retainer clip there. Alright, so the 7/16 bolt flathead there is on the middle one of the shroud fan, whereas these ones on the bottom and top are pointing. Alright, so we're going to get a wrench and block it up. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, but these fan clutch removal tools tend to have these pre-drilled holes, but they don't fit my application. I could bore it out, but it doesn't require much. When I tested it the first time, all I did was like wedge this hook across one of the bolts, and the belt is on. The accessory drive belt is still on, so that gives us that tension we need too. So I believe this is a 36, two options, 33 and 36. So and the idea is wedged on here now. We just want to be able to go left on one, so just separate them. Done, huh? Oh, close my own corner now. So it didn't require much. It should just spin off now. Let's see. I don't really want that to be doing anything. Get out of the way. Exactly what I said. I shouldn't be able to pay attention. Fuck. Darn. Should have enough clearance now to remove the top piece from the bottom. So that's the difference with a lot of the Ram trucks. Is same engine, most of the same parts. But they don't bother taking the two-piece found tread in half because they can lift the whole assembly from the top. But from the vans, you've got, especially the ones equipped with AC, which is most of them I would take, you've got these AC lines here. And while I will be removing the AC bracket slightly so I can get to a bypass hose in there, you can't get that fan tread off easily, two pieces. So you got to go from the bottom. So the only thing I had to remove other than the low radiator hose, which I'm removing anyway for this job, is one of the trans lines that was also blocking access or clearance, and that wasn't much. That was just a spring clamp that I've got connected to that brass fitting where you see that sending unit there, right there. Yeah, so that's a temperature sending unit for the transmission oil temperature as it leaves the transmission and goes in the radiator right before it goes through a cycle of cooling. Sorry you can't see exactly what I'm doing, but you can see when I pull the tension and just pull that belt off. All right. Stuff like this used to intimidate me, but that's basic 101 that you have to get used to before you start doing anything else. Pull this on, reroute it later. All right, we bought this belt recently new, but it had a bunch of, with the coolant leak, it's been there and squeaking, and I should have changed this and this then, but I'll do it now. I'm not now, right exactly now. It's part of this project. We have two new pulleys. We'll have an emergency belt. We bought a new belt. It should be fine, but back up. We have a new one. This later. There's a new one that we're going to use when we install everything. We'll have backup. Just to reconfirm the need to change the tensioner pulley in here. It's got some noise. I heard it with the stethoscope when it was running, but it's got some play there, bearing, so you know it's just easy enough to replace those. Not too expensive. I mean, I was thinking about getting the whole thing, but I think I should be good with just this. Bearings could probably be serviced. I'm not very experienced with servicing bearings, so I got a cheap replacement, or cheaper just to replace the thing is what I mean. I'm gonna remove this next. I will remove that before I install the new belt when I'm concluding this project. But now, accessory drive bolt and water pump. We have to remove this. Okay, so this was easy work. 15 mil as well. Came right off with the impact. This impact. This is what we're one of the things we're replacing. Right, so the old ones, the only thing you need to do other than is you gotta, each of them have these little bushing or this washer here for the idler pulley. You take that with the old one because the new one doesn't come with that, and keep your bolt, of course. And likewise for the idler pulley, this idler pulley here was on the old one as such. This bushing there, and that'll, you tighten it back like that, and I'll give you the torque specs when I do that part. But old, you can hear that that's where our sound was, our loud noise, our shopping cart. You can imagine spinning so fast. Okay, so I used a 1/2 inch for the oil stick. It was really loose. Now I can basically hand it. So I'll lose the bolt down the engine block somewhere. Alright, so this 1/2 inch. Seems like there's a washer for this bracket. That just, I mean, that can just kind of stick there, but once we start removing our accessory brackets, that 1/2 inch with the washer, the next step, I think it said throttle cables inside here. So we're gonna have to refer to the literature because I'm not too familiar. Okay, I had to read it several times and I think I get it. So there's the cables themselves that come out of these pins. One's from the transmission, one's from the throttle, the gas throttle, foot lever, right on the throttle body. And then the other one comes from the transmission. Okay, before I get carried away, basically this is the one that from the transmission, shift lever. It just a little plastic clip that hooks right in there. It said to open the full body, and this one had to get a screwdriver to kind of pry it. It's kind of like a metal clip that goes into that one there. So it should just snap back in when I'm ready to install it. There's a tab. Huh. A tab. Push tab for removal. There's a little nipple there. Sorry. And once it's seated in there, when I push it down, it'll lock in there, and then you're supposed to see that little opening there, that square opening. Take a small screwdriver. The original screwdriver head was a little bit too big to get in there, so I got a little one, something to basically poke that nipple that's locking in the tab in there. You push it out, and then you should be able to slide it up. It slides up like that, right? And when installing, it should lock right back in. So the manual is telling me to remove these two bolts, the bracket, the accessory bracket to intake manifold bolts. So two from the inside here. Alright, there's the first 15 mil. So accessory bracket will keep them together. There should be 8 in total I should be removing. Top side there. There's that 13 millimeter. So just for reference, we'll go back the same way we came in. 13 is much smaller than the 15 that came. So that's the intake manifold side. Just looking, it looks like our accessory brackets in front. We got 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's the water pump bolt. Sorry, which I'll get to those later. 1, 2, 3, and we've got one under the filler inlet heater tube there. Got another one right above it. 2, 3 right directly under the heater tube. 1, 2, 3. So that should be 6 plus our heater tube, which we're going to have to remove this bracket, remove the inlet tube, and replace the O-ring, new piece. Then we should, at that point, be able to lift our accessory bracket clear of the bypass hose. Obviously, we're not working with a Dodge truck, so that's probably why they asked to remove the PCM on the vans here, because I don't want you banging up against it, I guess. It's pretty solid, but okay, so these is 14 mil. Yeah, breaker bar. That was a 14 fits just nicely over it, but it's a little hard to get the socket in sometimes. So breaker bar to break them, and then a ratcheting wrench so I can pull them out. Camera working. The camera looking at that extra thing. Long. Like there's any water there, but again, I've drained everything. This one, the shorter one, came on the second one from the top. So you can see the shorter one that I just was holding came from here. This, of course, is where the idler pulley is. So right below the idler pulley is the shorter one. So the other one is the exact same size here. So the one that came from down here and down here, same size, the shorter one. This is the longer one, the top left corner. More to go on this side. Alright. Make some mechanical music. You're listening to the sound of pulleys, power steering pulley, and your water pump pulley. Find out. I'm going to go with the accessory bracket. So, yep, same size. Once you break them, it's relatively convenient to use this ratcheting wrench, but you have to break them. They're torqued in there pretty good. Right. That wasn't threaded. I was just seeing things. Reflection. Okay, looks like the exact same size. Okay, so this heater inlet tube, which I need to remove to get to the last bolt behind there. So it's pretty tight in there. I put some PB blaster. It's really gonna have to be some muscle. Getting it out. There we go. Bad O-ring that we're gonna replace there. So we're gonna replace this whole thing. So the sixth and final bolt of the accessory bracket. It's also a long one, but it's not as long as the passenger side one. So the other four, including the one that holds the heater hose inlet tube to the water pump, is a short one. And this is the one that's behind that one. So the top right one is a longer one, longer thread, but they are all 9/16, or you can also use a 14. That was just on my breaker bar to get them broken up. Okay, with the Dodge trucks, they just moved the accessory bracket to the side over here, which I can't really do with the body here of the van, but I can move it out slightly, and that's all I want. I want to be able to replace the thermostat and bypass hose here. But yeah, I guess I could just remove, like a lot of people do, is they remove the alternator with this bolt and these 214, I believe, and then they could remove the alternator from the bracket and wiggle around to get this wire away. But anyway, I think just a little muscle always could be some radiator. You can see our housing, where that's where our real leak was from. Man, that's just tight in there. There's probably a spring in there too. There's the upper radiator hose. We got a replacement coming, and we'll probably keep our clips. 2 spare clips I ordered, but those clips should still be good. Now we can get off that. So it looks like our leakage is coming from that thermostat housing and or these sensor fittings, temperature senders, or rethread them, take them out, rethread them, and obviously clean up around there. Get that housing off, get a new thermostat in there. Alright, so we are going to remove the alternator. I just took this one bolt here and washer from the top there, 14 mil or 9/16 will do. And we got this other one. We've got another wrench there. Didn't take much to hold it from spinning, just that wrench on the back. Alright, so the washer comes in on this side, pulls out, keep that together. It's really hopefully going to save me a lot of headaches here getting access to that. Should just pop right out here, huh? Okay, so with that alternator out of the way, we're just gonna have it slide over there, top of the valve cover over there in the back. That gives us better clearance here. Alright, we are gonna get this thermostat housing off and replace. Gasket cleaned up there. That's 13 mil. Mil. Right, here's our two. There's our thermostat housing. Yep, that's where our leak was. Maybe the thermostat is good, just leaking, but I got a new one anyway, so I'm gonna change it. Thermostat, salida de agua, homie. So just swap out the bolts on that. We've got a new back gasket. And I guess when we reinstall it, we can use some thread sealant, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the housing's probably okay. It's just, you know, it needs to be cleaned up and everything. But I got new housing, not too expensive. Okay, so it popped right out. Sorry I didn't catch it. I just did a screwdriver. It started prying a little bit. It popped right out there. As you can see, this is what happened. This whole issue started with this. Keep your tools all together. So here's the new one. Let us see the old one versus the new. I mean, really identical.